1, 2, 3.
This is Kyle Galaz with Poor2Pro Car Sales Training Podcast. Become a sales titan. This is probably my favorite thing to do is one-on-one training sessions because I get to interact with real people out there doing real things at real dealerships, and a face-to-face with somebody is really cool because I get to look at them and I get to help them go to the next level based on them, based on their topics. And I have a special guest out of the East Coast. His name is Gabe. His on Instagram is it Gabe's?
Yep.
At Gabe's_automotive. Gabe, very nice to meet you. Why don't you tell us about yourself?
I'm Gabriel. I work at Firelands Auto Group. I'm in Ohio. I sell Chevrolet and Buick.
And how long have you been there?
April,
May. Oh, you're really new. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's really neat seeing new people already looking out for training, because a lot of times newer people would just like, well, this is how my boss said to do it. This is how my manager said to do it. But a lot of times they don't ever seek out more training and they get stuck in their ways. So Gabe, it's really cool seeing you, a few months in, that going to the next level already and wanting more. It says a lot about your character. What made you decide that you wanted to further your training? Go to an outside source.
Well, we have a small staff, but we're always pretty busy. And I quickly learned that I don't always have the time for a specific one-on-one with the manager as much as I want to, So that's where I've been listening to the podcast probably nonstop all day long at work, on the way to work, sometimes in the gym. It's just been in my ears all the way.
That's awesome. The power of the internet has really helped car salespeople. Really, a lot of different, fields, not just car sales, but any field. Because you go to YouTube and do a how to fix an alternator on a '05 Subaru. There's a lot of resources out there, but it still takes someone to want to go find them. So I appreciate you supporting the podcast, listening to the podcast. What made you choose me as your trainer, or what made you decide, hey, I want to do a one-on-one with Kyle?
Oh, you're kind of relatable. And so I've talked to a few other sales trainers, and they're kind of like systematic and like pushy in a way, and it kind of like the bad kind of pushy.
Gotcha. So that's how I try to be. I try not to be pushy. I try to give as much value as possible, so that way when someone does inquire about a one-on-one, there's value to it. So I want to say thank you, Gabe, for hiring Poor2Pro, hiring Kyle, me, and I appreciate everything that you said over our messages and hiring me. So thank you, Gabe, a lot.
No problem.
Okay, so you have 4 topics. The first one is how to generate more referrals and repeats and nurture them. The second one is how can I generate more traffic to a small town dealership? The third one was how can I use social media to grow, become locally known, and use it to my advantage? And then the last one, the fourth one, was how can I improve my ability to close more internet leads? So check this out. Your second one, the how can I generate more traffic to a small town dealership? There are dealerships spending tens of thousands of dollars trying to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, their advertising budget is 10, 20, 30,000 a month, especially in these smaller towns where it's like, okay, we sold everyone in our population for the most part. How do we get outsiders? So dealerships spend so much money on this when really what they should be spending their money on is training. Because if you spend $10,000 on leads, but the people that are getting the leads, the salespeople, right, don't know what to do with them, then it's wasted money. Or you spend less on advertising and more on training, hooking Gabe up with proper training and doing all this, and that's how you can actually be more successful. So what that second question you have, how can I generate more traffic to a small town dealership, is a tough one, because there's that people dealerships spend thousands throwing money at the wall, hoping it sticks and hoping. And we're going to discuss some of that stuff now that we can do for free, where you're not spending money. Um,
Right.
so we're going to get into that on the second topic. So before we get started, I wanted to compliment you. I went looked at some of your Instagram videos, and your voice is really, really good. You were talking about when you plug in that Chevy Equinox EV and the lights are doing that Night Rider, and you said in the back and the front. And then there was another video when you're talking about this blue. What do you guys think? Do you hate it? Do you want to see some more of it? You remember that video?
Yep.
The way you speak is really good. It's like a radio voice. It's clear, and you get to the point of your in your video. So I want to compliment you on that because that will take you a long way when you have a voice that's clear and you're not mumbling around and you're not using lingo that the customer doesn't understand. So kudos to you for that. Okay, first topic: how to generate more referrals and repeats and nurture them. Do you have anything that you're trying now, Gabe?
Um, I like on my little business cards, I'll write the customer's name on them, and I'll tell them if they bring them back, if anybody they like refer to me, they come see me, even if they don't buy, I'll like send them a gas card in the mail. I want to try stuff like keychains and stuff, but
It's good because you're thinking outside the box. Some of the best businessmen out there are creative. If you look at Elon Musk, for example, yeah, he's crazy and all this, but look at how creative he is. His Tesla cars, do you know that they dance?
I did not know that.
The Tesla X, the Model X dances. And you exit the car and the car literally does all these dance moves. The lights are going crazy and it's blaring music on the outside and it's a spectacle. But it's the creativity of that of why people like Teslas. It's not just an electric car, it's an electric car that does all kinds of crazy stuff. And why is it that Tesla and Elon in a world where everyone hates electric cars is still selling tons and tons of electric vehicles? It's not that, he's got, the best looking cars or whatever. It's just he's creative and he markets himself. So that's where you can get better is be creative and don't be afraid to do things like that. Hey, here's my card, here's your name on it. If you send someone in, I'll get you a gas card or Starbucks card. You tell me what you want, I'll hook you up. Send them to me. I need help growing my business. I'm new here. And sometimes when you're just honest with somebody, they're like, okay, yeah, let's hook Gabe up. Okay. So one of the first things that salespeople don't do when they sell a vehicle is follow up. Okay.
Mm,
If you want to truly nurture a lead in a sale, you have to follow up. But what we have to do, Gabe, is separate follow up from trying to sell them more cars or trying to get names out of them because you were already a salesperson. You did that part, okay? So if you're going to take notes, write down, I need to separate the salesman Gabe from the follow-up Gabe, okay? You have to separate those two. You're not a salesman anymore when you've already sold them. So remember that when you're following up and you're calling and texting, it's no longer about selling them. This is about true follow-up. And do you actually care about your customer? Do you care about their vehicle and their service? Do you care that, hey, are you still happy with your car? So you have to separate the two. And when you separate the two, then they start seeing value as you as a human and you
mm,
as someone that they can trust. Because can we agree, if they like you and trust you, they'll probably buy another car from you or at least give you another chance. Is that a fair statement?
absolutely.
Yeah. If Gabe lied the whole time, screwed him over, sold them a car that didn't have the feature they wanted, did you get likability and did you get trust?
No,
Are they going to send their friends to you?
probably not.
Are they going to come back and see you?
No, absolutely not.
So think about this. If you're going to send your friend to someone that is selling something, you're not going to want to send your friend to a guy that screwed you over, lied to you, and all this. So if you truly want to nurture your customers and get referrals, you got to do a darn good job while you have them as a salesman. Because if you can be a really good person to them as a salesperson when you're supposed to be sleazy and cheesy, right? Just trying to take my money. You did all those good things while you're selling them, then they're going to like and trust you after the sale when you're doing the follow up. And the follow up is the nurture part. So here's what you can do as a salesman trying to follow up. Do we, and you can agree or not agree with me, but when I was a salesman, after I sold a car, I felt awkward calling the customer. How do you feel?
It feels so weird. Like it feels unnatural.
Yeah, it's like, what do you want? Yeah, what's up, Gabe? Yeah, I remember you sold me the car. What do you want? Because you're just a salesman there. So what I learned to do is, you could do like a 3-day follow-up call. Hey, Mike, this is Gabe over at the dealership. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Listen, it's been 3 days and I don't want to leave you hanging if there's some features or options or buttons or something that you don't understand or your wife doesn't understand or anybody in the household that doesn't understand. Is there anything in the last 3 days that's being goofy or you just can't figure out? And really listen to the response. Yeah, everything seems to be fine, although we can't seem to figure out the adaptive cruise, where it's supposed to keep the distance. And the last time I used it, I was right up on the guy in front of me. Oh shoot! You know what? I'm sorry I didn't do a thorough job showing you the adaptive cruise. Is there a time where you can swing back in? Like if I just say those sentences, they probably aren't going to come back. They'll figure it out.
Mm.
Most of the time they do, but it's the way I said it. Hey, I'm not calling to say nothing. I'm just checking on you. It's been 3 days. So it's easy to make a call after 3 days. Is there anything going on? Did you find anything that you can't figure out? Is anybody in the household not figuring something out, even in the back seats? No, hey Gabe, everything's good. Okay, listen, I'm here at any point if you have questions and concerns, or you can't figure something out, or if you need to get a service appointment set up, I'll get you the right numbers, or I'll walk down there and give them your information to set up an appointment. You just let me know. Okay, pause. Do you see value in that salesman in that phone call, Gabe?
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
100%.
Dude, that call after 3 days, yeah, it's awkward. Yeah, you don't want to bug them. They're probably at work, whatever. But that call needs to be made. And that call is the setup for your other follow-up because you can't sell them a vehicle and then call them in 6 months hoping for referrals or a repeat. It just doesn't work like that. So I call it forever follow-up. So after 3 days, make that call. Make sure they're happy and hunky dory. Even if it was a tough customer and you didn't get along and it was a grind, they still got money. They can still buy cars. So do that follow up. The forever follow up is step one. Find them on social media and friend them. If you got to find them on Instagram, so be it. If you got to find them on Facebook, so be it. If you got to find them on TikTok, so be it. You find that customer on one of those social media platforms and you friend them. Most people that are, a certain age or above are on Facebook. Most people that are a certain age or below are on Instagram or TikTok, but you got to find them. And where you need to be careful on this is you need to have a professional. If you truly want to go to the next level, delete those old videos where you're cussing. Delete those old videos where you're doing whatever, or hide them, or make them private. And clean up your social media. And on your profile page, your main profile, have who you are, where you work, and your phone number. Okay. So, like on Facebook, I tell my salesperson
Hmm.
your name, where you work, and your phone number because people don't want to have to dig deep for information. They don't want to have to go in your profile, click on more, click on about to get your phone number. Like, even if you have your banner on Facebook, are you on Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay. If your banner has your phone number, where you work, and your name, or at Gabe's underscore automotive, then you need to be right there. Okay. And the forever follow-up part comes up is where when they post something, a birthday party, you like it, you leave comments on it. I'm sure you've heard this on my podcast. You
Yeah.
have to be engaged with them all the time. You don't want to Facebook stalk them or go, 5 years before and start liking their photos. But anything that's current and active, like it, because you're going to always be in the forefront of their mind. Because guess what? They're going to post, "Hey, my just got a new puppy." And the only person that commented on it and liked it was their salesman. Their friends just hit like because they're too lazy to leave a comment. Their family members they haven't spoke to in 10 years. They don't even like their family members. But my sales guy hit like and said, "That's a beautiful looking dog. Bring it by the dealership." That's those little in between follow-ups that build value in you as a person, not you as a salesman. And that's what I'm talking about, separating the salesman as opposed to the uh, the follow-up guy. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so like and comment on their posts as much as you can, current posts, because when people get, if you ever post something like on your videos and you get a like and a comment, don't you get that dopamine hit? Like, oh, who said what?
Yeah, it lights me up.
Yeah, you're like, oh shoot, I got a comment. Let me hit my notifications. Oh shoot, someone said they liked the video. That's what you're doing for that customer when you do that. Hey, that's a
Mhm.
beautiful puppy. You should bring it by the dealership. I'd love to see it in person and get a selfie with it. Oh yeah, Gabe, that's my sales guy. Yeah. Well, how come mom didn't post on that? How come my best friend didn't post on it? My sales guy did. So you got to be active in that and be creative and be, be Gabe, be genuine. Okay, so that goes into that forever follow-up. Now, this is another one trick that you can do. Texting is so much easier now with follow-up. Okay.
Mhm.
Send them a text. They can read it when they want. They can revisit it. They don't have to hit ignore on the phone call because they're busy. So these are things that I used to do as a salesman. I would send my customers that I knew that would appreciate this stuff a funny meme, not a nasty meme or a derogatory or a political meme, just something funny like, a joke thing. And I would send them the meme, and this is how I knew if I was valuable to them or not. Are you ready for this?
Mhm.
I would send them a meme and not say who it's from. And if the customer responded with, "Who's this?" I'm not that valuable to that customer. I'm not even programmed in their phone, right? This is how you can test if you're on
Yeah.
another level with that customer. You send them a meme or an article or something that you think they might like. If they bought a Corvette sports car from you or something really cool, and you send them an article about that vehicle and how awesome it's doing, and they say, "Who's this?" You're not even programmed in their phone, which means you're not at that level yet to where you can ask for referrals. You're a stranger still. You're just their sales guy. Now, if you send that meme, and they're like, "Dude, Gabe, that's hilarious." You're programmed in their phone, which means you're on that level of friendship. So that's a good way to test if you're on a level of friendship and that level of, reciprocation or whatever. But you're sending them stuff not as a salesman, you're sending them stuff as someone they like and trust. A funny meme, an article, a news clipping, or whatever, a video. Thought you might like this. Your car wins in the Le Mans, or the Corvette won 0 to 60 against the Challenger. Whatever you sold, send them that stuff. Um, and you said the Chevy dealership, right?
Mhm.
Chevy people hate Fords, right?
Yeah, they do.
So you send them memes about Fords breaking down. Right? I mean, what you got to do is have fun. Remember, we got into car sales to have fun, be goofy, and do that kind of stuff. So when it comes to the follow-up, it doesn't always have to be the car business. It can be the people business. Okay. So now this ratio has not been proven, but this is a ratio that I was thinking about when I was doing your notes. How many in between follow-ups should someone do before they ask for a sale or ask for a referral? And a number popped in my head, a 20-to-1 ratio. So I think after you sell a car and you call them on day 3, just checking on how everything's doing, and you call them on day 7, just doing some final follow-up, whatever. I'm not going to bug you, but I just want to make sure everything's good. And then you do some in-between text messages and you do some in-between Facebook postings and comments. I feel like if you did 20 interactions, then you're allowed to do that one. Hey, do you have any friends in the business that need a car real bad? Right? It's like you've earned after 20, you've earned the right to ask for something. Now, it doesn't have to be 20 text messages and phone calls. It could be two phone calls, three text messages, and you liked and commented on their posts. But you did 20 things to stay in their forefront as a normal human, not as a salesman. So, what I'm getting at in the follow up is try to separate you as a salesman to you as a someone that follows up. Can you think of any ways off the top of your head that you could get creative in follow up that maybe I didn't mention?
Um, well, I'm kind of by Cleveland up here, so following up on like Cleveland sports, maybe to those who I know would like that, appreciate that.
Yeah, sports. Um, and knowing your customer too, if they're really into sports or the UFC or boxing, send them that stuff.
Mhm.
Uh, but what I would like you to try is that test where you send them something and without letting them know who you are. Okay? Because then you can find out who you're on a higher level with versus a lower level. And if you're at a lower level, then you need to try a little bit harder and try to get them to say the next time you send them a text like, "Oh, that's funny, Gabe. Hey, I've got to come by and get an oil change." Get them you programmed. Okay, so do you have any questions on like follow up?
No, I think I got a lot of good stuff out of that.
I mean, really, it's just you're just staying in contact with them one way or another. You're staying in contact. It's not over. You don't got to overcomplicate it. Hey, send you a text, send you a this, send you that. Comment on that. Okay, referrals. Customers will send referrals to people they like and trust. If they like you, Gabe, they're going to send you people. The card thing with the what'd you say? What gift card? Gas.
A gas card or something, sometimes like dinner or something like or coffee.
Okay, that's awesome. So, and you already have the mindset of the word. One of my favorite words is reciprocity. If you just want from customers, then you're not going to get as much as if you don't give. You got to give something to these people and make them feel warm and fuzzy to where they want to send you more stuff because what's in it for them if they send you five customers and they get nothing out of it? You know, they get a text that says thank you. So
Right.
you're onto something. So what you can do is create a formal referral bonus. Okay. If a customer sends you a referral, and they buy a car, you'll send them a $50 gift card. Okay. Then you can
Hmm.
pick the dollar amount. But what I find is $50 is enough to say, hey, go see my guy Gabe over there and buy a car from him. If they buy a car, not if they just send you a customer. Hey, if they buy a car, I'll send you $50 gift card. Or if you bring them in, if you bring them into the dealership and they buy a car and you're here with them, I'll give you $100 gift card to wherever you want. You tell me, or you give them a list of things that you have. And yeah, $100 might be a lot, but they hand delivered a customer to you and sat through the process. They're going to be an advocate for you to sell that car because guess what they want?
Gift card.
$100. And the only reason why I know this works because we do it at my dealership. We don't promote it, we don't advertise it, but when a
Hmm.
customer is buying a car, we bring it up. Hey, if you send a customer here and they buy a car because you bought one here, you get $50. If you hand deliver them to me and they sit here and you help them buy a car and pick something out and you're here with them, I'll give you $100. It works, Gabe. So think about that. You don't have to use those dollar amounts because $100 can be steep. But if you think about how many referrals you might get from it, if you get five referrals, those are car deals you would have never got that month because you don't have a program to reciprocate them bringing a customer. So just think about that. One if they send them in and they buy, one if they hand deliver them to you. Okay. Okay, another one. And I used to do this back in the day. This is old school. This will date me because I got in the car business in '02, '03. Is I would send people a letter about, like an 8.5 by 11. Okay.
Hmm.
And I would put on there, thank you, a big font, thank you, like almost takes up half the page. Thank you in big font. Make it on Word or whatever was back then. Microsoft Word. And then I would put on there, here's 5 cards to give out to some of your friends that may need a new vehicle, or you can use them for starting a fire in an emergency. Okay. So it's
Yeah.
goofy, right?
Yeah, it is.
But did you just smile?
Yeah.
So if you send your customer a thank you card in like, or a thank you letter in like a week or 2 weeks after they
Hmm.
bought the car, thank you, and you can edit it on your computer. Thank you, Michael. Here's 5 cards for some of your friends that may be in desperate need for a vehicle, or you can use it to start a fire in an emergency. He's gonna smile and be like, "Oh, freaking Gabe, he's hilarious," or that's creative. Yeah, I'm gonna give. I do have a buddy that needs a car, and man, there you go. And you can also put on the bottom of that after you say start a fire in an emergency. If you send them to me, and they buy $50. If you hand deliver them to me and they buy $100. And there's there now they got $500 worth of cards in their hands. And you can put on the back 50 if you bring them, or no, 50 if you send them, $100 if you bring them, and write it on the back. And now they got up to a $500 in their hand. So you're giving them a reason to bring your referrals to you. Okay, and another one is the direct way. Just ask them. Hey,
Right.
I'm trying to drum up some, Mike, this is Gabe. I'm trying to drum up some business. My boss is like, "Hey, you're the new guy. You need to figure out, your business plan." I thought, you know what? I got some good customers out there. I'm going to call them and just simply ask, "Do you know anybody that might be looking for a car or in desperate need, or maybe is not saying it, but you look at their car and they're like, yeah, you need a new car. Do you know anybody? Don't worry, I'm not going to bug them. I'm just going to maybe shoot them a text, right? Do you got their name or number? Yeah, just text it to me. You don't got to give it to me right now. Text me their name, and you just call him. And sometimes just being genuine and telling them, "Hey, I'm trying to drum up some business. My boss is all over me." And I thought, you know what? Mike was a cool guy. He probably has a couple friends. It's not a intrusive way. There shouldn't be any awkward feelings. You just have to get on the phone and simply ask, "Hey, I'm trying to drum up some business," and just make it fun. Okay, think we did enough in referrals. Do you have any other questions in there?
No, you did a like really good job with the referrals.
Yeah,
Got some gold.
and you know what, Gabe? I forgot to tell you this before we started, but if something sparks in your brain, like, oh shoot, I do want to ask Kyle that, bring it up, because what I've noticed in brainstorming is when I'm talking and you're talking and our brains are, even though you're, 5 hours away, or I don't know how long a flight is over there, but we're so far apart miles wise, but our brains can still interact through a one-on-one, and all of a sudden a new idea comes up that you didn't think of and I didn't think of. So if something sparks up, bring it up and we'll build off
Absolutely.
of that. Okay. Okay, second topic. How can I generate more traffic in a small town dealership? This is what they've been trying to figure out since the dinosaurs. How and your owner hasn't figured this out. Is your owner happy with the amount of cars you guys are selling?
Never. Never.
I mean, that's his job to never be satisfied. That's what keeps a business going. But I promise you this, he's in his big office behind the doors trying to figure out how in the heck do I get more people into this building? What do I have to do? I'm spending $50,000 a month on advertising. This is where you become a professional. Step one, do you have any polos that have your brand on it?
Yeah,
Okay. Do you wear them outside of the dealership?
I try to. I haven't been very good at it, but I try to.
Okay, so that could be step one. Um, you got to live in your brand. If you truly want to be the top and the best of the best, you have to live in it. You got to swim in it. You have to become part of it. Chevy runs through my veins. I mean, it's my DNA, and I wear my Chevy. I got my hat. I got Chevy socks. Because what will happen, and this has happened to me outside of the dealership, when I wear my Alfa Romeo stuff. People just stop. Hey, you have an Alpha? No, I don't have an Alpha, but I sell them. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I had a Maserati jacket made with I just a regular Eddie Bauer jacket from Costco or something, but I had it embroidered with the Maserati logo, and I put Maserati right here and I put my name right here. I mean, I'm the most approachable human being at that point. They know my name. They know what I possibly am connected to. Do you have a Maserati? I wish I had one, but I sell them. And
Hmm.
to this day, at places I used to go into regularly, 5, 6 years ago, people still come in and ask for me. Hey, does Kyle still work here? I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't been to that place in 5 years or 6 years. It's because I branded myself. And I sometimes they'd come up to me and talk with me, and sometimes it was just like something from a distance. And maybe they just saw me and they asked, who is that guy? Oh, he sells cars over there at the dealership. So swim in your brand, okay? Try to wear it everywhere you go. Step two, this is hard for people in the car business because we deal with people all day. What is the last thing we want to do after we get out of the dealership?
Talk, be around people, connect with people. Yeah.
My boss has one of the best sayings I've ever known. I used to be a people person until people ruined it. I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. I used to love people and then people ruined it. But what we got to do is try to get out of our comfort zone there, okay? And it doesn't have to be you got to go to some big event after work. What I ask you to do is don't go through drive-throughs. Try to make it a point to go into places. If you truly want to scale your brand and your business, don't go through drive-throughs. Go a little bit early on the way to work at that favorite coffee shop and walk up and go inside. You got your brand logo, you got your name possibly on your shirt, and this is a trick that you can use that will help you get more people to buy cars. First, you're inside and you're fun and oh yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, what's your favorite thing on the menu? You know what? I think today for my coffee, I want you to surprise me. I'm like, are you sure? Yeah, just make sure it's totally caffeinated. I do this. I do this, Gabe. I'll let you surprise me. Just don't put any matcha in it. I don't want none of that green stuff. Okay, ha ha ha. And then what you do with your cards is you don't say, "Are you looking for a car?" Because
Hmm.
that's an awkward thing, right? Are you looking for a
Yeah.
car? No, I'm not looking for a car. I'm here working trying to sell some coffee. So what you do is say, "Hey, I sell cars, and here's a couple cards. If you have anybody that's in your circle or friends that are like, I desperately need a car, or that person that you know that's like, you know, their car's breaking down, but they don't want to admit it. Can you please give them that card?" But you got to be vibrant, before you do that. And the reason why it works is because you're not trying to sell them a car. All you're saying is, "Hey, do you got any friends that you could help give them, one of my cards?" Because what happens is they don't trust you because you're a stranger, correct?
Right. Yeah, I am.
You're a stranger to the coffee lady or the coffee whoever. But when they take your cards and think about, yeah, Michelle does need a car. Her car smells like smoke every time she drives it. When that lady gives Michelle your card, is there a trust factor there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Michelle trusts Tina. Tina doesn't trust Gabe because Gabe just met her at the coffee stand. So no trust between you and Tina because you're just a coffee guy. But think about the amount of trust between Tina and Michelle. Oh yeah, this your guy? He stopped in the coffee shop. He said if I know anybody who might need a car, so I gave him your card. There's so much more credibility between Tina and Michelle than Gabe and Tina. Okay? So when you go inside to get your coffee, verbalize that. Yeah, I'm getting a coffee before you got to bring it up though. I'm getting a coffee before I go to work. Make sure it's highly caffeinated because I work a ton of hours. I sell cars. Oh yeah, you do? Okay, well that's cool. They're trying to make small talk. They're awkward. They think you're hitting on them or whatever. But you just say, "Hey, if you know anybody that's cars breaking down or that one friend that's like you know they need a car but they don't think they need, if you don't mind give them my card. I'd love to help them out. I try to help people in our small town." Okay, so you see how that the angle changed? The whole thing shifted. But if you're not a social butterfly, Gabe, and you don't go to these events and these dinners and, church and the gym and all this stuff where you're going to be in one place for a long time, I'm not saying you don't do that, but if you're not a big social butterfly, then simply just switch drive-through for going in. Okay?
Hmm.
And keep a stack of cards on you and pass them out. And you live and breathe your DNA of Chevy. Do you sell any other brands?
Buick.
Okay, Buick. Okay. And Buick, man, they're trying to make a big comeback, right?
Yeah, they are.
I
They're
mean,
making a
they're
big
making
push.
the new Buick. What's the little one? Encore?
Invista.
Which one?
Invista is a
See, I
new
don't.
one.
I don't even know. I'm not keeping up with Buick. But I have seen the new Encore and it looks pretty decent. They've changed some of the styling and yeah, it's a small little thing, but from the one I remember before, I think it's the Encore, the little guy.
Yeah,
Versus now, kind of like how the Chevy Trax used to look versus now, it's like kind of stylish. So I know
sporty.
yeah, yeah, totally. Okay, so think about this. Do you have any like sports or athlete that you're like, dude, I've been following that guy since the beginning? Do you have anybody like that that you like
Eh,
or a band?
typical like typical athletes, kind of like LeBron, and he's from Cleveland, so it's kind of
Okay, let's use LeBron as an example. If we jumped on this one-on-one right now and
mhm.
when our cameras turned on and we could see each other, if I had a LeBron poster back here, would we have a talking point?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, and will we have an instant connection of, even if it's in a small way?
Yeah,
Think about this. How many people in America own a Chevy or have owned a Chevy?
probably a lot.
Big number. So the Chevy logo itself, the Chevy brand, is a connecting factor between you and strangers. Just like if I had a LeBron poster. If you had a poster of like 1984 Mario Brothers behind you in Duck Hunt, the original Mario, I'd be like, I like this guy. Because that I was like 4 years old playing Duck Hunt and I sucked at it. But for some reason, a 4-year-old Kyle that played duck hunt and sucked at it, it's in my DNA now. It's like that was my childhood. It's a special time in my life. So if you had a duck hunt poster in your back, I would instantly have a talking point with you. It shows I'm a little nerdy, but you have a talking point instantly with a complete stranger. So remember that when you have the Chevy logo. This is a $12 shirt from Kohl's, but it's a Callaway. So many people ask me, "Do you play golf, Kyle?" Because of this little tiny V. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah,
I'm like, well, I played golf like 15 years ago and I did okay, but it just wasn't for me. Oh man, yeah, you should see the new clubs out. Instant talking point on a V. I didn't even know it was a Callaway shirt, but they did. So think about that when you're wearing the Chevy stuff, okay? So generating traffic in a small town. So wearing your stuff outside of the dealership, going into places instead of going through the drive-through. Okay. Here's another one. You know how you're making that video on the blue vehicle?
yeah,
Next time, take that blue vehicle somewhere in your hometown that everyone can recognize that building or that statue or whatever. Okay. And park the vehicle to where when you're doing the video asking about the blue, they can see that item. Because what you're going to do is you're going to link yourself to that town and you're going to get more people that are local or at least know your area to realize Gabe lives in my hometown and sells Chevys. Because if you just post a video right now of the blue electric or whatever that color was, like you did, which was a beautiful video and a beautiful color, and you do hashtag Chevy, hashtag da da da, and it reaches, let's say, 10,000 people, who knows or who can recognize in that video without clicking your description where you live, where you're at? Not really, right?
right.
It's just a car lot. But can you think of in your head a few places that you could think like, okay, if I drove it here, everyone knows this.
Yeah, yeah. We're like 20 minutes from Cedar Point. So,
Now, does it take more time and effort to do stuff like that?
a little bit.
Okay, how long will that video last on your Instagram? Forever.
Yeah,
The relevancy might change, but it will never be deleted unless Instagram crashes and everyone loses their stuff or you delete it. So by taking a little bit of extra time to do a video in your hometown with something in the background that people recognize will live on Instagram and hashtag and at your city, at hashtag your city name, hashtag support local, that kind of stuff. And people are going to start seeing the video and be like, "Oh, that's downtown. That must be a local Chevy dealership. Oh, let's go check it out. I saw a video online of this blue car." So localize it. You got to localize it by doing that kind of stuff. Another trick if you want to capture more in your small town is make sure you go during busy times to do these videos, because more often than not, someone is going to stop you or say something, and you can pass out your cards out there because people are walking around downtown, right? And you're doing this cool video, and make sure, I'm going to talk about this in a second, but make sure you get them in the video because you can film people in public, but you're not going to specifically point at them. You're going to make sure they're in the shot behind the car, okay?
Mhm.
But what will happen is you're going to run into people like, "Oh, that's a pretty color. Yeah, I'm getting some public opinions on this color, so I'm doing some videos downtown. Oh yeah, I sell vehicles at the Chevy dealership." Think about this: the salespeople that are sitting on the lot waiting for an up, praying, versus Gabe downtown, people walking around. You're doing videos. Who's going to meet people?
All right, me.
Yeah, it's thinking outside the box, and it's doing something that may be uncomfortable. Okay, so here's the second part of that video I'm talking about, when you can capture people in the video. When you post that on Facebook or Instagram, and you have a localized video where you can see something in the background, something will happen magical. Not every time, it's going to be rare, where someone recognizes that person that's in the background that lives in that hometown, and they're going to tag them in it, or write down, "Hey, I know that guy in the background," because you got a clear video and you're having fun. And next thing you know, the comments da, 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 and you're going to have some uh comments going on that you don't even have to be a part of. "Oh, I know that guy in the background. That's Mike." You know what I mean? You just never know what's going to happen, but unless you do it, you can't see any kind of results. You got to do it. Okay, so get those videos, do that. We'll talk about shortly how you become locally known. That's
Mhm.
kind of your third topic, and this topic kind of goes into it. So let's recap on this one. You're going to stop going through drive-throughs and go inside as much as you can. If you're in a hurry, obviously do your thing. I'm not saying completely stop, but try to wear your brand stuff outside of the dealership and try to start doing stuff that's in your comfort zone, but might stretch it a little bit. Because what's it going to hurt if you pass out your cars to a barista or a person at the register? What's it going to really hurt you? Nothing.
None.
You're not going to lose sleep over it. You're not going to die. You're not going to pick up some disease. You're just passing out your cards. And the more cards that are out of your hands and out of your desk and out of that box, they can work out there. They can get out there, if you just give your cards to people that come on the lot and leave, they're probably just going to go, right? They already went to your lot. You already didn't have what they wanted. They don't need your card. But people that are out there, man, let those cars breathe. Let them out there. Get them out there. Five, if whatever. You got to get them out there. So make sure you're doing that and get out in the public domain with you and your shirt. Now, here's another thing with small town. Does your dealership do any kind of events, public events?
Yeah, yeah,
What do
we
they
do.
do?
Just last month we sponsored like the bike week concerts. We did a couple of those. We do a lot of concerts, and I'm getting ready to go in half with my dealership to sponsor a golf outing for a local dealership.
Are you going to be playing in it all?
No, I can't play golf to save my life.
Neither can I. At one point, I was okay, but no, I can't save my life with it. Okay, so you're going to have to sponsor it. Does that mean a banner is going to be up?
Yeah, over a hole. It's like a hole.
Gotcha. Okay. Do you think you could go out there and go to that banner and tape some of your cards to them, like their little hangy things?
Oh, probably. I'd hope so.
Okay, there's one, right? Go out there and tape 50 of them on this side, of 50 on this side, and still your banner's there. Make it to where they can just peel off a card. And then another thing you can do that I used to do is go get a stack of cards, because the parking lot at that place will probably be full.
Yeah.
Okay, put them in their windows right where their door handle is, and go put it on every single car excuse me, at that event, right? You know where the handle is in the window? You just
Hmm.
wedge a card in there and you go through all of them. And yeah, it's weird and uncomfortable. And what are you doing over here? I sponsored the event. Be quiet. Go look at my banner. Like, leave me alone. All right. And you go put your cards because what can we is it fair to say if your cards are in your desk, are they doing you any good?
No.
If your card is on 300 vehicles, is there a small chance that on 300 vehicles, 30 make it into the car? And out of the 30 that make it into the car, five might be in the market. And out of the five that might be in the market, three buy from you. How long does it take to card up 200, 300 cars? I don't know, 30 minutes. So for 30 minutes of you grinding, you got three car deals out of it potentially. That's worth it. This is the stuff that no one wants to do because they're scared or timid. Oh, it doesn't work. That's old school. Well, guess what? If no one does old school except for one guy, and that one guy's old school tactics are reaching 1,000 people, I have a feeling the old school techniques are going to work again. Now, if everyone was doing old school techniques and there was five business cards from five different salespeople on 300 cars, yeah, your chances are limited. What the heck are all these freaking business cards? They toss them out. But if there's only one guy willing to put in the legwork, then that's probably the same guy that happens to get, lucky. So if I were you, I would go tape a bunch of cards to that banner, and I would put cards in every vehicle, and see what happens. Let those cards breathe. Okay. Now it's hard to reach a zillion people without a budget. So your dealership, you still got to rely on your dealership to do, the majority. But what you can do is, when you mention small town dealership, is do all those nitty gritty things that I mentioned. And of course, there's more. You can probably think of something. Get shirts that say "I sell cars" with a QR code on the back that takes them to your um, Facebook or something. I sell cars on the back. And when I used to have a computer business that I did on the side when I was selling cars in Bakersfield, and I had my custom shirt, but I had a little saying right here with an arrow. It says, "Tap this shoulder if your computer needs help. Tap this shoulder if you need a new car." And when I was in line, every once in a while, it didn't happen all the time, but every once in a while, I'd feel, "Hey, I actually my computer has the FBI virus. I don't know how I got it though." Oh, sure. And I would hand him my card, and next thing you know, I'm at his house making 120 bucks to remove his FBI virus. So it's those little things like what when you're at work and you don't got really anything to do and you're done with follow-up, think, what can I do to draw up some business? How about I get a custom shirt from Zazzle.com that says "tap here if you need a new car," or a QR code that takes you right to your Facebook. Like those are the things that you do in a small town dealership. And I mean, other than knocking on doors and doing that. Okay, let's move on because we're going a little long. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I'm trying to cram as much as I can. Third topic: how can I use social media to grow? How do I become locally known and use this to my advantage? Okay, how do I use social media to grow? You got to bring value to your posts. If you have value in your post, people will follow you. If you have value in your post, people will share your posts. So we talked about making sure that customers don't have to dig deep on your social media. Your phone number is right there as soon as they click your profile, and where you work and the address, all that good stuff. So how-to videos are really good for dealerships. Uh, if you can do some how-to videos on, hey, pairing up your phone to the new 2024 Chevy, you will be surprised of how many views you get on that kind of stuff. Or on SUVs, you go to the kick and the back thing opens.
Yeah.
Okay, make a 45-second feature on that. This is the new Chevy Equinox. I want to show you how to use the kick sensor. You simply walk up to the car as long as your key fob is in your pocket or on you somewhere, and you walk up and you're going to kick right here. And you don't want to do some karate kick and dent your bumper. You just have to do this. Boom. Let me demonstrate it one more time. Boom. And have like a watermark. Gabe's Automotive with your phone number right there. Don't let a video go out without a watermark of some sort, okay? Because that can
Hmm.
directly tie them. But how-to videos are incredible. Okay. New features. You did that on the Equinox EV where the lights look like Knight Rider.
Yeah,
Okay, do that again at night downtown and hashtag Knight Rider. This is why Chevy is the Crime Stopper. It's the Knight Rider version or whatever. You have fun with it and have it at night. And then if someone walks up and is like, what the heck is that? Get them on video. Be like, oh, this is the new Chevy Knight Rider. No, I'm just joking. Like, and if you can capture moments like that, genuine moments, those are the videos people love. Okay. And talking about new features, because most common buyers don't know about new features like Super Cruise. What the heck is Super Cruise? You do videos like that, okay? You know what Super Cruise is?
absolutely.
What is it? Let's hear it.
Okay, so Super Cruise is GM's version of hands-free driving, truly hands-free. They've got the GPS and radar and lidar sensors. Um, it goes off a satellite too, so it's not just cameras. Cameras mess up. They do that, and it senses where you're at on the road, and it's cool because it's got a little thing on the steering column that makes sure you're looking at the out the windshield, because if you're not and you're looking off for like 6 seconds, it'll start your seat will start vibrating anyways.
Mm.
It keeps you on the road, and it pairs with the adaptive cruise control, so it'll match your speed, it'll pass people, it'll keep you in the lane, all hands free.
Okay, so Super Cruise. Okay, now if you can button that up and make it a tight presentation where you're in command. Like Super Cruise is next level. These other companies, yeah, they got the lane assist and you're bouncing around like a ping pong. Not GM, and let me show you why. And have someone film you. Check this out. If I decide I want to close my eyes for 6 seconds, the GM product goes bzz, bzz. I can't fall asleep. It'll never let me fall asleep. Super Cruise is not only awesome in the feature it is, but it keeps you awake so you can actually make it to the destination instead of the side of the road floating down a river. And you just have fun with it. But those new
Yeah.
feature things people will like. Okay, and that's how you can be relevant on social media and bring some value to your posts. Okay, let's see. Here's another one. You need to pit vehicles against each other. So I did this on a post one time. I did a Chevy Camaro, a Ford Mustang, and a Dodge Challenger right next to each other, all three in the same picture. And I said, and I edited, I put A, B, or C, A, B, or C. And then I posted it on Facebook and it blew up because I asked everybody A, B, or C. Chevy
Mhm.
people hate Fords. Ford people think they're better than Chevy and Challenger. Challenger people, I don't know what they think, but you should have seen the comments. Bum, 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 Mustang, oh, found on road dead. Oh, Chevy, every cracked heads, every valve leaks or rattles every time. Chevrolet, like you should have seen it. It went crazy. But that is what you're looking for when it comes to social media. And how you use it to your advantage is you have your watermark and your phone number on it. Okay.
Mhm.
You don't let a video sneak out without that stuff on it. Because if it happens to blow up, which it's hard to go viral because everyone's trying to do it, but if that one happens to blow up and your stuff's not on it, you're gonna be like, oh man, I should have had my watermark. Do you have a laptop or a iPad or anything?
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. If you have iMovie or Windows Movie Maker, whatever computer you have, you can make a watermark using Canva or something and make it to where it's a see-through watermark, the transparent background, and put it make a cool logo, Gabe's Automotive, phone number right down the middle, and don't let videos go out without it. Okay, here's something that I can't take credit for, but I watch a salesman do this and it works really well. Is they'll take this is local stuff. So I take advantage of the local stuff. If you see a cool car in your town, Gabe, take a picture of it. Unique, cool, it doesn't matter. If it's not Chevy, it doesn't matter. And you're going to post it on your Facebook or your Instagram, and you're going to put who's with the at symbol, tag them. And what I've seen in this particular person is people will recognize that car and tag the owner in it of that guy's post. And what's happening is there's an organic thing happening. So he takes a picture of this sick car, who's at, tag the owner, and then all of a sudden activity starts happening. Oh, that's a cool car. Oh, that thing's lame. Next thing you know, I know the owner tagged, and that creates this energy online. And guess what? He sells cars from it because he's being known and he's using social media to his advantage. Okay. Another one on social media, and I gotta make sure I don't do this, is engage in negative comments or haters.
Hmm.
If you get haters on there, kill them with kindness. This is what I type on haters. I had one earlier today on one of my videos, and it hurts my feelings. It really does. Because I'm a nice guy and I try to help people. And he said some bad comment. And so I said, I appreciate your feedback. And I hearted his comment. It's like taking the high road. But the moment you engage with these haters, you're going to go down the rabbit hole of whatever. So never engage with haters. Simply thank them. Hey, appreciate your feedback, heart. And you're going to kill them with kindness. Okay, another one, Gabe. Make sure you're in the videos. Okay. Make sure, because you're the common denominator of your brand. If you post a blue Chevy, well, they can see a blue Chevy anywhere. What separates your video from the next is your face. Okay. So, and you have that killer radio voice, and you're a good-looking human being, so you can use that to your advantage. A guy that knows his car business, the guy that has the looks, and the guy that has the voice, you're the common denominator. So make sure you get comfortable with being on video. And I saw that you had a couple where you're on it. Keep doing that.
Right.
Okay, the last one on this. Do you post on Facebook Marketplace?
I do.
Okay. Now, are you a part of when you go to post, are you able to post on multiple groups?
Yeah.
Okay, on these groups, are they what's like the range, your geo fence of them?
I'm about 50 miles. Sometimes I'll go up to like the bigger cities like Cleveland or Toledo or whatever is around me. But mostly about 50 miles.
Okay. That's good. So I made a mistake when I was posting on Facebook because I joined the My Town Jeeps, My Town Off-Road, My Town this, My Town that. And I was noticing that all those circles are just they're just over each other. My geofence, it's not
Hmm.
far, my range or whatever you call it. So now that I'm a manager and I'm watching sales guys that are successful on Facebook, they have one, like you said, they got one way over in this town that's, 80 miles away. They got one over here that's 400 miles away. They got a group that's way over here. So they don't intersect, they don't interlap because then you're just wasting a group. So make sure all your groups make sure you have a big one in town, of course, and then have multiples that are around. I think you can post up to 21 groups. I haven't done it in a while, but make sure you have a big radius like you're doing. And when a vehicle sells on Facebook, do you put that you sold it through Facebook when it sells?
Market sold on Facebook.
Good. It's very smart. Whether you sell it or not, as long as it sold off the lot, you say you sold it on Facebook Marketplace because the algorithm will start rewarding you with more views. Okay. Hashtags. So I've learned also on hashtags and ats is if I just put hashtag car, it reaches just car people, right?
Hmm.
Doesn't necessarily reach buyers. It reaches car people. So when you're doing hashtags and ats, like at your city, at your town hall, at your, in your tagging weird things in your posts because you want to reach people that aren't just car people. You want to reach the normal people. Hashtag the city name. Hashtag uh I don't know, some random thing that might be local. And you can start doing stuff like that. But I think where people excel a lot is posting a lot and getting their face on video and pictures. Do you take pictures of your sold customers?
I do.
Do you take pictures with your sold customers?
I just started doing that. I do one with just the customer and if they brought somebody like their mom, and then I just started doing them with the customer.
Okay. Yeah, because again, you're the common denominator. People will start correlating car deals, happy customers with that guy's face. So make sure you do that. And then in those, you can say, like, ask a question. Do you know these locals? Do you know their name? And get see if you can get engagement. Do whatever. Um, but that's how you can use some of that to your advantage. Has anyone figured out 100% social media? No, because if everyone did, then everyone would have a million views. But what I do know is that your face is important. Local things are important, and what's the word? Where you're constantly doing it. I forget that term. But you never fail. You post 3 to 4 vehicles every day on Marketplace. You have a fun picture. You ask a question, to get engagement. You're constantly doing something.
Hmm.
Okay. Fourth topic. Moving on. Anything else in that?
No, I think we covered that one really excellent.
All right. How can I improve my ability to close more internet leads? How do you handle an internet lead right now? If one comes in, what do you do?
Typically, the first thing I do is I will call them right off the bat. Our store is big on doing a personalized video. So I'll do a video and I'll send it to them a text, and then I'll do a quick email too. So call, text, email, video.
That's excellent. That is excellent. Now, when you call that initial call, what are your success rate to get actually a hold of them?
Relatively low.
Do you think your customers are doing what we do when you see an unknown number?
Oh, absolutely.
What do? They hit silent. Don't
I
got,
don't know this person. I'm not answering that.
yeah. And if it says the dealership name, oh man, I don't want to, I just wanted to look at that thing online. I don't want a phone call. So if your name pops up on there as the dealership, they're going to not answer. If you're calling from your cell phone and it's unknown, they're not going to answer. So how the heck do I get a hold of these customers, right? Have you heard my trick where I call 3 times right in a row?
I think so.
Okay, I showed my other manager that because I like sharing my information with anybody I can to get better at our dealership. And I showed my other manager that's the sales managers, 2 of us at this dealership that are sales managers, and I said, Joe, come here. Sat down, I'm like, hey, I want to show you what I think our sales guys need to be doing. And if we can get on the same page, then we can like endorse it and push it. So I said, I'm going to call this internet lead that the salesman has notes on there. Can't get a hold of, tried calling, sent text messages, no response. Right? He did good follow up. He did 4 or 5 follow ups, but nothing was contacted. I said, watch this, Joe. And I didn't know anything. I didn't look at notes other than what the comments were from the salesman. Boom, and called. Ring, ring, ring. Well, I did speaker. Ring, 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 ring. Voicemail. Hi, this is da da da. Hang up. Called again. Ring, 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 ring. Hi, this is da da da. Hang up. Third time I called. Ring, 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 ring. It went to voicemail. I'm like, shoot, my trick didn't work in front of my other manager. I feel like an idiot.
Mhm.
I hang up. I'm like, well, they typically answer on the third one. Within 3 seconds, I see the thing calling back, and it's that girl. I'm like, oh shoot, see it works. Boom. I go, hello, this is Kyle. And she's like, yeah, I missed a call from your dealership. I don't know. I just rang back. I'm like, oh, hey, what's going on? And then I played the thing where I always say, I'm sorry if my phone kept calling you. It's messing up. I can't tell if it's ringing out. So I apologize if it kept calling. First thing she said, oh, that's okay. Okay, well, I bugged you for three rings, but she's fine with it because I told her it was my phone messing up. It is a technique that I use, but it works. I got her on the phone when this salesperson tried 4 times and failed and then marked it lost. We lost that lead. And here she is. This was a 14-day-old lead. Guess what happened? She went cold. I said, is there anything I can do to get you back in the market? She's like, no, I tried running my credit at a few places. I got denied. And then I told her after, I said, hey, I'm not here to bug you on the phone, but I'm going to do some follow up and just check on you maybe in a week or so to see if I can get you back in the market. Okay, that's fine. Right? But guess who got a hold of her? That can be you. So it's totally out of the comfort zone for most salespeople to call 3 times. I agree. But the guy that's relentless with internet leads is also the guy that sells more cars. Okay. So step one, Gabe, is be relentless with the phone calls. You have to be relentless because if you send 50 text messages, they're probably going to block you, right?
Right.
They might respond, And people do like responding to text, but if you're not getting able to get a hold of them on the first call and you send a text, you do a beautiful video, which I think is really cool, your dealership does, and you send them an email and you have no contact and you put in there, tried 4 times, moving on, versus the guy like Gabe that says, I ain't giving up that easy. Ring, 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 ring. Hello, hello. Why you keep calling? Oh, this is Gabe. I'm sorry if it kept calling. I can't tell if my phone's ringing out or not. I really apologize. Oh, that's okay. But guess who's on the phone with a customer? Gabe, the relentless one. Okay, and we got to figure out why. So we got the phone call part down. I kind of had that down here, but you have to
Mhm.
understand, why are they putting in the internet lead in the first place? Why do you think customers put in internet leads? I want your opinion.
Well, I wouldn't say like raising the hand to buy a car, but kind of like they're getting to be like just closer and closer to be ready to buy one or be interested in maybe coming to see that car or just wanting information.
That is, there's a percentage that just want information, and they're at the very start of it. Some people that put an internet lead, there's statistics out there that on, let's say they put an internet lead on January 1st, the first day of the year, some percentage of customers don't buy until June. It takes some customers out there with that engineer mindset that slow plays everything 6 months to buy a car. So if we give up on day one or day two, you're missing out a small percentage of those customers. Yes, there are a small percentage that take 6 months. Typically, when a customer visits the first dealership, they buy within 72 hours. This is why when you call someone after a week that visited your dealership, they already bought. Oh, yeah, we went with this, because it's a true statistic. But why do people put in internet leads in the first place? One, they're looking at multiple brands and they can't visit all these dealerships, right?
Right.
They're looking at Chevy, they're looking at Ford, they're looking at Ram, they're looking at the Tundra, they're looking at multiple brands and they can't visit all the dealerships, okay? Two, they might be short on time. They may be like me and you that grind all the time. We barely have lives outside of the dealership, so we don't really have a whole lot of time to go shopping, so we're short on time. Three, they live too far from your dealership. Maybe they're in the rural areas and the farmlands, and it's just they're too far just to come look, so they have to inquire. The you hit one on the head. They're just starting the process. They don't even know what they want. They're just looking at things. Or four, they're scared and intimidated to come into a dealership. They might be timid because they've heard so many horror stories of dealerships. Number five, they're scared or intimidated of salespeople because mom and pa told them, oh, yeah, the salespeople are the worst. And now they're 30 years old and they don't know how to buy a car because they've been indoctrinated to this mindset that all salespeople are horrible. Because guess what? In the 70s and 80s and 90s, it sounded like they kind of were. Today, we're in the information age. You can't be a horrible salesperson or you get fired. So, so five, they could be scared or intimidated of salespeople. Six, they're introverted. They don't like going outside. They live in the house. They got a job online during COVID. And they don't need to go outside for anything other. They get their food through Uber Eats. So they're kind of introverted people. Seven, they've been ripped off in the past and they're timid about buying a car again. And eight, and this is just the eight that I thought of that I feel like it's probably most people fit in these categories. They feel like the internet is a safer zone than going into a dealership because they're in their house, they're in their comfort zone, and people don't like leaving their comfort zone. So when you're talking to internet leads via phone call, text, or email, talk to them about those things. Hey, I don't know if you've had an experience in the past and you're not responding to my emails, but we do business completely different. I want you to know that we're very transparent. I want you to know that we're a friendly family-owned dealership. You're not going to get ripped off here. You don't have to be scared or intimidated to come in. You may not put out that whole list, but if you're having problems getting a hold of a customer, it may be the message we're initially sending out. So we have to change up the message if it's not working. Okay.
Mhm.
So think about that when you're doing internet leads. Is my current script working or is my current script low, like low quality? And start start making a nicer script and remembering what works and what doesn't and write it down. Kyle mentioned, hey, we're very transparent. We don't, if you come into the dealership, you don't have to buy the vehicle. All I'm asking you to do is come check it out. This is the kind of dealership we run. Because once you get them in, now they're in your court and now you can do your thing, Gabe. Okay. All right. Okay. Every dealership right now is instructed just to send a price, an internet price, right?
Hmm.
Get out the internet price and and you did your job, but still not enough. I like what you guys do is that video walk around or the video, hey, this is Gabe, da 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 da. But if you're having a slow day, I would go out to that vehicle and do a bad boy little presentation and make sure you're getting video of not a selfie mode, but you're filming the car doing this walk around where they can see you in some of the reflections. They're getting a little spyglass of Gabe without you looking at the camera. Hey, this is Gabe over at da 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 da. What I want you to do is when you're doing these videos of the car, make sure that they can see you and don't look at yourself in the mirror or the glass or the windshield. Actually get yourself on video. Okay, this is the da da da, and you're humble and all that because they get to dissect you and get comfortable with you from like a different point of view. They don't they don't know that you know they're watching you if that said that right. Like they get to look through a little thing like, oh, there's Gabe. So send them videos, be informative, and don't drag it out too long. And have you ever sent a video to somebody that has an Android or vice versa, and the video looks like 1982 graphics?
Yeah.
Okay, so the remedy to that is you upload it to a YouTube channel and send them the link, and then they can watch it in 4K. So, or whatever your phone films in 8K or 2K, whatever. So, do you do that already?
Yeah. I have a YouTube channel and I post like for every lead I post on there and I'll make it public so everybody can see it.
Good.
Especially like shorts. It'll be like name specific and person specific, but it gets my name out there and gets the
Yep.
car out there.
Good job, man. You're doing the right stuff, man. I'm telling you, you're doing stuff that people that have been in the business 10 years aren't doing. And I said this in my last two one-on-ones. I want you to raise your hand about right here, Gabe, and pat yourself on the back because you're doing a good job. It's 11:43 where you're at, right?
Yep.
Dude, it's midnight and you're still training. Sorry, I'm going a little bit long, but I want to make sure I got everything for you. Okay. No matter what you do, always remember the point of an internet lead and phone call is to what?
Sell the appointment.
The appointment. Yes. Because them at the dealership, without them at the dealership, nothing matters. You can't sell a car over the internet. I mean, you can in some cases, but for the most part, people need to come to the dealership. So sell the appointment. When you're doing those video walkarounds for a customer that's an internet lead and they're a little bit afraid to come in, you can say things like, hey, when you get in here, I want to show you the rest of the features on here because there's too much to do in a video. Hey, when you're in here and we test drive it, no pressure. Don't worry. I'm not trying to pressure you to come in and buy a car, but I'd like to show you the car when you're in here because video and online versus in person is a totally different thing. And then while you're here, you can see how transparent we are, how straightforward we are, and how we do business. We're family owned, and that's how they're going to keep it. Keep it. Okay. Finally, this is where a lot of salespeople are failing, and this is what we just talked about, is they're scared to make the phone call. Okay. They hang up as quick as they can, or they don't leave a voicemail and they never try again. And that can separate you from the average salesperson, Gabe, is get those people on the phone. Keep calling, keep trying, okay? The point of everything is to be a sales titan. That's my favorite term. I got a hashtag up there, hashtag sales titan. Because when I think of a sales titan, I think of that guy that sells so many cars and you don't know how he's doing it, and you're like, what? He doesn't even take ups anymore, right? And they walk in the room and they just have a different aura about him. The guy that's selling 25 a month, he feels different than the guy that sells eight. It's just something different about him. And that's what you have to try to achieve is you do a little bit more than everybody in every aspect, and then you're going to start selling more cars than everybody. You just have to separate yourself from the average. Okay. All right. And know this too, nobody closes 100% of their internet leads. I've never met them. I never will meet them. It's a numbers game. Get the lead, keep trying, 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 and you'll sell more internet leads and more appointments, but you got to be relentless and do it over and over and over. Okay, is there anything else that I need to cover? That was all four of your topics.
No, this was awesome. This really helped out.
You know what, Gabe? For a guy that probably worked a whole shift and it's midnight in his hometown, you got pretty good energy still.
I try. I try.
Is there anything that the Spotify world and across the world should know about you? Any hobbies or cool things that you do?
Mhm. I like to fish.
Mm, very cool. Fishing is awesome.
Yep. Relaxing.
All right, man. Well, for anybody who is listening to this, go to Instagram at Gabe's_automotive and give him a follow. Gabe, I'll make sure your link is in the description of this episode.
Mhm.
And I want to look at the camera into your eyes and say thank you for hiring Poor2Pro and hiring me, Kyle Galaz. Your resources go to my family and help grow the podcast. And I don't take it for granted. And thank you for my tip too. I got a coffee with it, so I really appreciate it. Um, and it's really neat too, meeting like-minded people, right? I have my little circle at the dealership and the people I get to meet doing these one-on-ones, but I'm trying to build something where Gabe knows this guy in this town because this guy did a one-on-one, and I want to create a strong circle of like-minded salespeople that when if I go to Ohio or go to your dealership, like there's my guy, there's Gabe. That's what I'm trying to build, and it's people that invest in the in me and my podcast, but really you're investing in yourself. I really appreciate it. So I just want to make sure you know that thank you very much for the business.
Thank you.
All right, man. You get a great night's sleep. And if you have any questions, you message me anytime. I'm here for you 100%. See you, Gabe.
Bye.